to Simply You, Be Here, Be Real, Be You with Carly Basham. Thank you all so much again for tuning in this week. I hope your all's week has been smooth. I hope your all's Sunday has been reset. And I just hope that you all have been doing well. I feel like it's honestly been some time since we've kind of slowed down and talked a little bit. That's mainly my fault. I have been traveling all over, and then I was deathly sick. I was on like my literal deathbed with COVID. I'm like, what the hell? But feeling much better this week, so super excited to be back with you guys, and thank you all so much for being here. So without further ado, welcome back to Simply You. I'm super excited to get into it with you all today. I figured that since it had been kind of some time since we've honestly been able to slow down and catch up, we could just kind of go over any questions that you all had for me, and some of it's more questions and some of it's advice as well too. So I know that I could at least use some advice, and these sort of episodes that we have always at least make me feel better, because I know that in my like everyday life I will like think things or feel things and I'm just like, am I fucking crazy? And whenever I read your all's questions or read your all's situations where you all need advice in, it always makes me feel like more comforted to a degree, because I'm like, okay, like I'm not like crazy, like I'm not going insane, like this is normal to some degree to you all. So I don't know, I just feel like the relatability is just so nice to talk about and show you guys too. And that's why I always like these videos, because it shows that we all can really relate to each other in some degree, because we're all going through some more experiences. They probably just look a little bit different. So I'm super excited to get into it today. Some of these again are going to be a mix between questions and advice also. But let's get into it. Let's get deep. Let's see what questions y'all have for KB. Ooh, we're going to start using that more often. Here we go. First one, baby. What do you do on the days where your mindset just is not it? Like, nothing that I say to myself is working. Days like these are hard because, just like you said, it's like no matter what you are telling yourself, no matter how much that you are trying to counteract your negative thoughts with positive ones, it's like you just can't feel it. And we all have those days, like we all have off days, right? We are never going to feel motivated or inspired or creative 24/7 or every single day. But on days like these where it just feels impossible to even take one step forward or to just do like this simple task, those are the ones where, at least for me, I just literally tell myself, we just got to get through today, right? Just do exactly what you told yourself that you were going to do today. And anything outside of that, don't overdo it for yourself, because like at least for me, I will have certain things that I just have to get done that day. And there are days where once I complete those things, I can still go and exert more time and energy into things and kind of push the limits a little bit. But on specifically days like these, what you're talking about, where you just are not feeling it and it literally feels like the day is either going by like second by second, minute by minute, and you just feel like you're lagging, or you just feel like you're not into it, or you just feel so tired or lethargic or whatever it is, literally just set one or two goals for yourself onto like what you want to complete that day. Whether it's you want to work out that day, or you want to respond to your emails that day, or you want to cook yourself dinner that night, like whatever it is, just pick one or two things that you will get done that day. And then again, anything outside of that, do not force yourself to do, because it's so hard to show up for yourself 100% every single day. Again, we cannot expect that from ourselves. We cannot expect that from other people too. We honestly just have to meet ourselves where we are at that day. So if all that we have that day is to literally just do our workout, come home and make a simple dinner, as far as just putting something in the microwave, like, then that's what it has to be that day, right? Like, don't force yourself to make this hour and a half long homemade dinner on days that you're just not feeling like it. So yeah, I would really, just to sum that all up, on the days where your mindset just is not it, and it's just not in a good frame, and you're just really having a hard time reframing that as well, I would just recommend picking one or two things that you know that you can complete that day. Make sure that you complete them. Do whatever you have to do, but make sure that you complete that task. Again, whether it's your emails, your workout class, your homemade meals, responding to your texts, finishing up some work, like whatever it is that you have to do, pick one or two things, complete it, force yourself, don't think, just do it. Like, just do the thing that you have to do that day, and then from then on, you just should feel accomplished that you got through it. Ooh, what's one boundary you wish you would have set sooner in life, and how did things change for you when you did? Setting boundaries is something that I'm currently working on, actually. I will say I have not mastered the skill of setting boundaries. It is an active practice that I am working on right now. But I would say one of the boundaries I've really been trying to set, and I wish that I would have set sooner, is not being available all the time. I found myself making myself available 24/7 for everybody else, and it got to a point where I literally would disregard my work that I had to do that day if someone asked me to do something. Like, I would literally drop everything that I was doing. It didn't matter if my homework was due that night. It didn't matter if I needed to watch film. Okay, actually, I always watch film, but it didn't matter if I had emails to respond to or work to complete or whatever it was. Like, I would always just drop everything that I was doing to go help or be there for someone else, which again, like, in certain situations and circumstances, like, that is what it's going to have to be. Again, show up for your people, especially in those tough and big moments. But every single time I found myself being so available that I was disregarding what I needed to do. And it got to a point where that was just a continuous cycle, and I woke up one day and I just felt so behind because, again, like, I was not taking care of my shit, right? Like, the time that I had set aside for myself to take care of what I needed to do, I was instead using it to go be in someone's car and drive with them to keep them company because they didn't want to be alone to go get a coffee, or I would go help someone brainstorm their idea, or I would go be there for my friend who had a question on what she needed to do about her boyfriend, or like whatever it was. And again, like, I love being there, like, it was amazing, but for me, like, it got to a point where I was not prioritizing myself and what I needed to do, and I was just starting to honestly, like, not take care of myself. I was not taking care of my business, and again, like, once I woke up, I felt so stressed, I felt so behind. So that is probably the biggest boundary I wish that I would have set sooner, is just not being available all the time. Like, for me, I had to train myself, and again, like, I'm still working on this, but I'm really trying to accept and be okay with the fact that I'm going to be busy sometimes. And not only that, going a step further into saying to people whenever they ask me to do something, I can't do this right now, I'm busy, I'm tied up. I don't know why saying that to someone whenever they would ask me to do something would always be so hard or cause me so much anxiety, because I would feel like I was letting them down, or I would feel like they were going to get mad at me, or I would feel like they were going to think that I was just blowing them off or just making up excuses. But in reality, it's like, no, like, I just need this time to work on my stuff, and then once I have finished the things I need to do, by then, yes, let's, set up a time and we can get together. But for me, I could not be available as much as I was. And with that being said, though, like, as I started to set that boundary and not even yes, I am prioritizing my career and my businesses, but for me, it doesn't mean that I don't have time for social. It just means that there's a time and a place to be social. And I was trying to be social literally all day, every day, and that's just not realistic for me. Like, it's not realistic for what I want to do, for where I want to be. There's going to be hours during the day where I'm in business, and business is business. And during those hours, like, I'm working. And it doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean that I don't want to be there for you. But whenever I'm working, whenever I'm focused, that's what I'm there to do. Just like whenever I am there to hang out with my family or friends, or if I'm at training, or if I'm in the studio, like, I am there to do that exact thing. And I don't want to be trying to multitask and be doing things that are going to take my attention and presence away from what I'm doing. And I found that whenever I was not setting my boundaries and I was trying to be everywhere all at once and be there for every single person, I was trying to multitask constantly, and it got to a point where I would be going out to these dinners and I would still have work to do on my phone because, again, I was not spending the time during the day that I had for my work. I was instead using it for personal. And that's just where it was. My whole life consisted of, not even personal, it consisted of being there for my family and friends and my teammates. And it just, I would say, yeah, that is the biggest boundary I wish I would have set sooner, is being okay with being busy. Busy is a blessing always, and I've learned that the people who have respected my time whenever I'm working and have kind of met me halfway and found time whenever I'm done working to then hang out or where we can all show up for each other, like that is, it's been so helpful, and it's honestly made it so much easier to focus on work whenever I'm at work and focus on personal whenever I'm not personal, and it doesn't mix as much. And for me, like, keeping them separate keeps me a lot more focused, and it keeps me a lot more efficient too. Again, like, you all know I have so many things going on, as do you all too, and there's just so much time that can be taken away if and when we are not being present or we're trying to do so many things at once, right? Like, just slow down, do your work, from there move on to the next thing. But don't, for me, it was like, don't disregard your work and try to skip over it or try to speed it up to then make it to your next thing that you really, really want to do, right? It's like, no, like, right now I am working. I will get to that personal thing. I will get to whatever it is once my work is complete. And, like, I don't know, I feel like it's honestly felt a lot more rewarding too, because I know that I'm handling my shit in my business, and then whenever I am showing up, I know that I can truly be there and I can give them so much more too, because again, I'm not stressing, I'm not feeling anxious, I'm not worrying or constantly thinking in my head about what I need to be doing or about the work that I missed, and trying to create this checklist in my head of all of the things that I need to do once I leave that dinner. It's like, no, like, all of my things are now complete, and now I can just be at this dinner and fully enjoy my friends, my family, my teammates, whoever it may be. So, but yeah, for me, being able to set boundaries with my schedule was huge for me, where I could get my stuff done as well as prioritize seeing the people that I needed to see. Ooh, I feel like some people in my life only reach out when they need something, but I don't know how to manage this because it's people that I care about. This is hard, and something I myself have dealt with so many times too. It's hard because you love your people so much, you love that person so much, you care for them, you respect them, you know that you want to reach out to them, whether something reminds you of them, or if you have a question, or if you just think about them. You're probably the type of person, if you're feeling this way, who will just text and reach out and be like, hey, miss you, thinking about you, just like something short, sweet, and simple. And this is where it's hard, and it took me a long time to realize too, is there's two kind of ways that I look at these situations and these type of people who only reach out to you whenever they need something. One, if they are only reaching out to you whenever they need something, I would truly sit back and reflect on your all's relationship and really see and ask yourself, what value are they adding to your life? Because at this point, it's not easy, but I've seen it enough where some could say it is. It's so easy to turn friendships into convenience. And I am such a firm believer in the best friendships are the ones where you still make time even if it's not convenient for you, right? And again, it doesn't have to be this dramatic long paragraph. It doesn't have to be this 1-2 hour phone call. It can literally just be as simple as you are listening to a song and you think of them and you send them that song and you're just like, miss you so much. You know, like just something to show them that you care about them outside of all that they can give you, right? And that sometimes in friendship can get missed and it can get misplaced. And if you don't show it for a consistent amount of time, that's where it can kind of probably start to feel one-sided, because the only time that you are probably going to be talking is if, again, you all need something, or that's really it. And those relationships, I found they won't last as long. They also don't run as deep either. And if you're someone who truly values deep and intimate relationships and friendships, I truly think making time, even when you feel like you don't have some. I promise you, you have 10 seconds to text your friend. I promise you have 10 seconds to text your mom, dad, grandma, whoever it is, even if you feel like it's not convenient for you right now. And so I don't know, I think it's hard, and if it goes on for a long enough time, well, one, I would confront them. I would be like, hey, I just want you to know, like, I really value you, our friendship, our relationship, and I don't want to see that end. However, I genuinely feel like the only time that you reach out to me is if you need something from me, and honestly, it's just kind of exhausting sometimes. I would just love if we got to catch up sometimes, and it wasn't always us needing something, it was just us hanging out, you know, because there is a difference. Like, there is a difference between, you know, texting or calling someone and it's always about your problems. It's like, hey, can I get your advice on this? Or hey, can you listen to this? Or it's like, it's always just asking them to do something or expecting a favor from them. And I just think we all can be more aware of when and how we are also approaching our friendships and our relationships too. And really just making sure that, again, guys, taking a step back real quick, it is okay. That is what friendships and relationships are for, are to go to them whenever you do need advice, whenever you need someone to listen to, right? Like, that is amazing. But if that is all that your friendship or relationship is, it's not going to be enough. Like, there has to be that quality time where you all can just have fun together, and you all can just enjoy each other's presence and just do things that aren't problem solving, you know, do things that aren't sitting back and listening to just one person talk about themselves all the time, right? Like, go out and do something. Like, go out and grab a coffee, go out to dinner, you know, go do literally something that's going to make your all's bond stronger, that's not related to only one person's problem, you know. That's the best advice I would say. And then from there, honestly, I'm a firm believer too, like, how you feel after being with someone is so freaking telling. If you feel drained after hanging out with one of your friends or your family or your partner, like whoever it is, maybe take a second to take a step back and be like, are they giving me something in return? I've just found that in my previous relationships where I felt so drained and tired afterwards, they were not filling up my cup. They were not giving me anything that was making me feel better, that was making me feel excited or happy or adding value to my life. At that point, I just felt like I was just constantly just giving them something, or I was constantly bringing them something where, I mean, like, yes, it was fun. Like, I love being that person. I love being there, but it just gets so exhausting. And whenever you are around people who fill your cup up, and whenever you are around people who fill your cup up, just the difference in how you feel afterwards, it's so telling. So I would honestly just recommend, whenever you are done hanging out with your friends, your family, your partner, taking a second to just reflect on how you feel after hanging out with them. Do you feel like you have your personality back? Do you feel happy? Do you feel excited? Do you feel motivated? Do you feel at peace? Do you feel fulfilled? If you can answer yes to those questions, that shows that you all are probably doing something right there, that you all are probably in alignment with each other, that you all are probably on the same page, that she or he is also giving you the same amount of energy in return. And those are the best sort of relationships, you guys. But again, vice versa, if you leave and you're like, holy shit, I'm so tired, or like, I am mentally drained, or I'm like emotionally drained, that's a key sign, you guys, that they're not giving you something that you need, right? And it may take some time to figure out exactly what that is and to have that conversation with them or whoever, but you can't just continue to overlook how you're feeling after you hang out with someone. It's just so telling. So I would really focus on those things, and then from there, I think you will really be able to decide if that person is for you or not, and then make that tough decision. Are they for you? Yes. Keep them, work things out. Are you ever on apart? If so, respectfully, part your own ways. Where did your confidence really come from, and how do you keep it when you feel insecure? Where did my confidence come from? Honestly, the only answer I have for this is myself, which honestly makes me so proud because I used to look at so many other people or things to bring me confidence. And now, genuinely thinking about it, I truly am the person who gives myself the most confidence. And like, damn, like saying that out loud makes me so fucking proud because, like, I don't know. I think whenever you go from being a person who's constantly tearing yourself down and constantly, honestly, being your worst enemy to now being your biggest cheerleader and being the root in what stems your confidence, feels pretty fucking good. So I would say my confidence truly comes from myself. That now, how do I gain confidence? How do I get confidence from myself? By showing up, literally showing up for myself. I treat myself like I'm myself's best friend. And like, this may sound crazy, but I genuinely look at myself like we are two different people. Like, it's me, right? And we are best friends. Thinking about it that way has helped me so much with just showing up for myself, because if I tell myself that I'm going to do something, whether it's workout or post this TikTok or read this book or go see my family or respond to my emails or like whatever it is that I say that I'm going to do that day, if I don't do it, I feel like I'm selling myself short at that point. I feel like I'm not doing the things I know I need to do to live up to my potential. I know that I'm not living out the life that I can truly live, a life that's bigger than me, a life that's bigger than I can even imagine. Once I started to show up for myself in every single way, no matter how I felt, it didn't matter if I felt tired, it didn't matter if I felt unmotivated, it didn't matter if I felt ugly, it didn't matter if I felt fat that day, it didn't matter if I felt sad that day, if I was crying that day, if I was mad, if I was anxious, if I was throwing up, like, it did not matter. I did not allow for any excuses to not get my stuff done. And I think just showing up for myself in such an intense and consistent way over and over and over again, that creates a different level of confidence. Because to me, if I'm showing up for myself, it doesn't matter what I'm doing at this point. I know that anything that I set my mind to, I am going to achieve. I know that anything that I want to do, I can figure out how to get there. I know that if I have this big idea, if I have these crazy thoughts that just really excite me, that I want to try to get out into the world, now I'm not afraid to do it. Now I feel eager to do it. It's like I feel eager to show up every single day. And it's just, I think, just proving to myself too. You know, I think there's such a level of confidence that goes with just proving to yourself that you are the woman that you say you are. For so long, I was struggling with thinking that I was this woman in my head, and my actions and behaviors were just telling a completely different story, and trying to find that line between knowing who I really am and behaving how I know I can be. How do I stop tying my word to how productive I am? What a good question. This is also something I struggle with. So, twins. It is, especially being a highly ambitious person, it is so easy to tie your word to how productive you are, to the work that you do. But that is such a dangerous road to go down, because there are so many things outside of your control in those situations. And that's where I want us to try to tie our worth instead of more of the outcome based. I want to try to challenge us to tie our worth to process based, right? Tie your worth to how you show up for yourself. Tie your worth to your discipline. Tie your worth to your consistency. Tie your worth to your work ethic, but not your work itself, you know, because sometimes your work is not going to reflect the effort that you put into it. And that's okay. That's why we go back, we refine some things, and then we try again. You know, it is all about trial and error. But if we tie our worth If we tie our worth to our work or to how productive we are, right, and to the amount of hours that we are exerting into XYZ, again, that is just such a draining and long and tiring road to go down. Again, I would rather us focus on the intent, instead of focusing on how productive can I be. I would more so challenge you to ask yourself, I don't know, because to me it's like productivity is such a hard thing to define, and I think we all have different lines and terms for what being productive is. So I think, especially being a highly ambitious person, accept that your productiveness is going to look different every single day. We cannot expect to exert and give the same amount of productiveness every single day. So just set intention. It kind of goes back to what I was just talking about. Set intent and trying to accomplish one or two things that day. Make sure that you are literally giving it your all and completely focused, locked and dialed in. And then from there, if the work is not something that you feel super confident in, again, it does not mean that you are not worthy. It does not mean that you do not deserve it. It does not mean that you are less than, or that you messed up, or that you aren't meant for it. It literally just means that you just have to go back to the drawing board and refine some things. But that's like any skill, right? You have to go back and practice it. I think about just going back to sports, right? Any new skill that I'm trying to learn, if the outcome is not what I'm expecting, again, I'm going to go back and practice it, right? I'm going to go get more reps. I'm going to go watch more film. I'm going to figure out what things that I can change to make that outcome better. But I know that just because the outcome is not where I want it to be does not mean that I am not worthy of receiving a better outcome too. Because that's where I think it's also hard, is getting in that cycle of not thinking or believing that you can't have a better outcome. You can always have a better outcome. You can always make a situation better. You just have to be open to it, right? You have to be open to learning how to make it better. We can't just expect things to get better. We have to learn. We have to work towards it. And that's where I would rather us pour our worth into the work and ambition that we are putting into it rather than the result itself. Ooh, how do I stop waiting for the perfect time to go after what I want? I love this question. My mom and I talk about this concept actually all the time, more so related to content and social media, because she told me literally from like the first start of TikTok to start posting, and she was like, you'll do so well there, I think, like you'll be so successful, like it's what you want as far as just like fashion and just like my personal brand, because she just knows that that is what I wanted for a long time. And she had told me, especially in college for so long, start posting. And I would literally always tell her, it's not the right time right now. It's not the right time right now. I'm too busy with volleyball. It's not the right time right now. I'll just do it after volleyball. And I cannot tell you how much I wish I would have just started to post, right? Again, not saying that it's impossible to get my name out there now, but no bullshit though, it is a lot fucking harder, because now that I'm not an athlete anymore, I'm kind of starting from square one as far as my relevancy and my relatability, so it's like my personal brand is kind of starting from scratch. Whereas if I would have just started my content right then and there while I had that prime time to go after it, who knows where I would have been now, But that being said, that was a learning moment, to say the least. That's why I want to go after my podcasts as well as my personal content as much as I can and be consistent with it. But I don't know, I think it's so easy to get caught up in the, I'll just wait till it's a better time, or I'll do it a different day, I'll do it next year, I'll do it next month, like whatever it is. But honestly, guys, there's never going to be a good time. There is never going to be a perfect time. I am learning that right now. There is still in my life, like there's not a perfect time that I can post. Like, there's not a good time for me to make content, and it's just really showing me that I could have made time whenever I first had this idea. But honestly, I think I was just so afraid to put myself out there that I was just using that as an excuse. So if you are someone who is pushing things off and trying to convince yourself that it's just not the right time, that there's going to be a better time down the road to go after something or to do something that you really, really want to do, I really want to challenge you just to try to do that one thing right now. And if it doesn't work, again, you will have another chance to do it down the road, right? But there is no harm in trying right now. Even if you don't feel ready, just go for it. I promise you, you are going to surprise yourself. And honestly, there's never going to be a time where you are going to feel ready. I'm just going to tell you that right now. If I waited to even start this podcast whenever I felt ready, it still would not be launched. Like, I would have never started it. It was just one of those things I just had to rip off the Band-Aid, you know? And I just think so many things in life, the fear of failing can hold us back so much into just ripping off that Band-Aid and just seeing what we can do. But that's where I want all of us to really just go for it. Rip off that Band-Aid and just try. Again, there is no harm in trying. There is no harm in going after it now. Use the time that you have right now. Again, the present moment is literally all we have. Yes, there might be a better time, quote unquote, down the road in the future, but ultimately the future, like, we don't know what that looks like. We don't know where we'll be in a year, a month, tomorrow, right? So I just want to challenge us to use the time that we have during our day, use the time that we have now to go after it. And I promise you, if you do not feel ready, if you do not feel like you have the time, if it does not feel like the right time to do something or to go after something, I really want to challenge yourself. Just try. Just go after it now and see what happens. You might surprise yourself. That's where we will end it today. I always love and appreciate your questions. It truly means so much to me. Again, I love being able to connect with you guys and relate and just help each other in any way that we can too. That's what Simply You is about, is to share stories, share perspectives, and create a sense of belonging, you know? So thank you all so much. I hope you all have had a wonderful evening and just the best week ever coming up. Make sure to like and subscribe, and tune in next week on Simply You with Carly Basham. Be here, be real, be you with Carly Basham. Thank you all so much. Bye.